Summer's almost here, and if credit card debt is stressing you out, I've got just the thing for you. I'm hosting a brand new masterclass called How to Get Out of Debt Without Giving Up Your Summer Vacation. This class is for women who make good money but feel stuck in the cycle of credit card debt. During this class, I'll walk you through the real reason you keep running your credit cards back up, how to get out of debt and stay out, the common quick fixes to avoid so that you don't end up in even more debt down the line, and a simple step-by-step process to pay off debt without feeling deprived. I'll also be sharing all the details about Own Your Wealth, my brand new private coaching experience. This is my 12-month mentorship where we work together one-on-one to clean up your finances by getting control of your spending, paying off high-interest debt, growing your savings, and investing at a higher level. You have 2 dates to choose from: Sunday, June 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Monday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can sign up now at jermainefoley.com/debt. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/debt, or simply click the link in the show notes to sign up. It's totally free, and I'd love to see you there. Let's get back to the episode. You are listening to the Becoming the Wealthy You podcast with Jermaine Foley. If you're a woman who makes good money in your career or business, but you're not building wealth like you want to, then you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how to stop overspending, break free from the cycle of debt, save lots of cash, and become the wealthy woman you were born to be. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are talking about something really deep, something we really haven't discussed on the podcast before, but I think it's an important conversation because we're going to talk about something that is quietly running in the background of your financial life. Something that can either fuel your financial freedom or sabotage your progress altogether, and that is desire. So before we get started, I want you to know that desire is a good thing. It is what fuels us human beings to grow and evolve and to create things like the iPhone. If we didn't have desire as humans, we would still be living in caves. So desire is super important. Hard stop, period. No question marks at the end. It is just a good thing. So please know that I am not telling you in this episode that you should stop desiring, that you should stop wanting. Actually, I think the opposite is true. You should always be desiring and wanting the next thing that is for you. I believe that desire is from God. So there's a scripture in the Bible that says, God will give you the desires of your heart. And I used to think that that meant that God would give me anything I wanted, but now I know from studying that scripture and really thinking about that scripture, it means that the desires that I have are from God. God will give you the desires of your heart. And so when you start to desire the way I'm going to show you today, I think that you can really get a lot of joy and a lot of satisfaction from just desiring by itself without even having to have the thing in the moment. You just desiring it can make you into a whole other person. It makes you into the person who figures out how to get the thing or the things that you actually want. And I'm going to give some examples from my own life to really help you to see how that works. But there are some of us that desire to our detriment. And that's where I see a lot of us getting into financial trouble. So today, I'm going to break down the 3 types of desires that I see often in my coaching practice, the difference between these types of desires, and we're going to talk about what it feels like to experience these different desires. So if you ever felt like you just had to buy something now, or like you're always chasing the next thing and you're still not satisfied, and that's leading you to overspending, to staying in credit card debt, and to having very little savings and not investing like you really want to, then you're going to get so much out of this episode. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's first start by defining desire. There are 3 types of desire. The first one is under desire. This is when you shut yourself down from desiring altogether. Maybe life has taught you that you should play small. Maybe you're so used to wanting something and then not getting it, and that disappointment is something that you're just tired of feeling. So you just decide, I don't want to desire anymore. I'm just going to shut myself down and stop wanting for anything. In essence, you decide that it's safer to want nothing at all. And when we suppress our desires, you also suppress your capacity for dreaming, for growth, and for joy. It doesn't make you more disciplined when you get in this place. When you're under desiring, that doesn't make you a more disciplined person. It doesn't make you a more righteous person. It makes you more disconnected, actually. Disconnected from life. And eventually, a lot of times, what you end up creating is a life that you're not proud of, a life that is unfulfilling, and then you just feel stagnant. And so again, we do not want to be here. We do not want to under desire. Now, the opposite end of the spectrum is over desire. This is where you're always wanting something more, not because it's something you truly are interested in, but because you're trying to fix an internal void with material things. You're confused about who you really are. You feel inadequate when the truth is you are 100% adequate. You feel unattractive when the truth is you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You don't think you're worthy or that you're good enough when the truth is you are 100% worthy and amazing just the way you are. And even if you don't believe those things, they are the truth. So you might as well get on board and start believing it. And when you do, that is when you're going to see this over desire settle down some, right? Because when you are out of alignment with who you really are, if you think you're not good enough, if you think you're not worthy, when you're confused about those things, that feels horrible. And again, we as human beings, we don't like to feel bad. So we find ways to feel better. And so there goes the over desire. That's where the over desire come from. So if you're feeling like I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not cute enough, then it's just like, ooh, that thing right there, that'll do it. I'll look cute in that dress. Or, oh, that car right there, that'll boost my status. If I was driving that, then I will feel worthy. And when we do this, we mask what's truly going on. So we're spending over what's happening, right? And we're trying to fill an internal void with material things, and material things can never, ever fill an internal void. But we try to do it all the time, and that is why we end up in a lot of credit card debt, very little savings, we're overspending, and we don't invest at the level where we really want to. And so those are the 2 types of desires that we really want to be on the lookout for: under desire and over desire. Now, the 3rd type of desire is what I call healthy desire. This is where we want to live. This desire is from abundance. It sounds like this: I want this. I know that I don't have to have it today. I can wait. I can plan, and I can build towards it. You let yourself anticipate it. You get joy from picturing yourself having it. You're not in a rush. You're just interested. You don't feel deprived. You actually feel empowered because you know your future self already has it, and she has it without regret. She has it without financial consequences. So there's a book that I absolutely love. It's called Ask and It Shall Be Given. It's by Esther Hicks, and she talks about a woman who wanted a new kitchen. And she didn't have the finances or the money to renovate it at the moment. And so she felt so discouraged. But Esther taught her how to enjoy the desire itself, to visualize what her new kitchen will look like, to pick out her cabinets in her imagination, and to feel the joy of cooking in her new kitchen without spending a dime. This is actually what I did when I wanted my home. So you may have heard me talk about this before, but my husband and I, our money was a hot mess. We filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. We had a lot of debt we needed to clean up, over $200,000 worth of debt. And it took us a minute to get to the place where we were ready to build the house that we live in right now. And I did exactly what Esther Hicks is saying. And I didn't even know Esther Hicks at the time. I had never read this book, but I just anticipated the joy of what it will be like to be in my house, to have my house. And I did it with Pinterest. So my kids used to go to karate. And while they were doing their karate lessons, I would sit in the back of the room with my iPad and I would literally go on Pinterest and build my house. What the kitchen was going to look like, what the bedrooms were going to look like, what the bathrooms and the laundry rooms and the outside, all of it, what it was going to look like. And I never ever felt deprived or disappointed or in a rush. I knew that this house was going to be mine and I was getting the fulfillment and the joy from just building the house on Pinterest. It was such a powerful experience, and I did not know what I was doing at the time. And of course, I'm in the house right now. Like, I created the house. I built the house on Pinterest, and now I'm living in it. And the house that I'm living in is even better than the one I anticipated. Now, I want you to think about what would have been if I was in under desire, right? And I wanted this house. I would have just decided that I should be grateful with the house that I already had, that I shouldn't want more, that it was too painful to want. If I can't have the house right now, then I don't want it at all. I'm depriving myself. I'm restricting myself. And that pain, remember, our brains do not like to feel pain. And so the reason why people stop desiring and you go into under desire is because it's too painful to not have the thing because of the way you're thinking about it. And so you just decide you're not going to want at all. So I could have just been like, I'm not going to want at all. I'm going to be just happy with the house that I have. And I was happy with the house. I was grateful for that house. And I wanted this house, right? That is the sweet spot. You don't have to hate where you are to get what you want. So I want to put that caveat in there. I was grateful for the house, but I could have gaslighted myself and just been like, oh, you should just be grateful. You shouldn't want more. You should be appreciative. Just be satisfied with what you have. No, I didn't. I wasn't in under desire. I didn't let myself go into under desire. I stayed in healthy desire. Or on the other end of the spectrum, I could have went into over desire, where I would have put ourselves in a financial situation that we just got out of, right? I'm sure we could have gotten the mortgage for this house, but we weren't financially prepared for it. We didn't have enough saved. We were just getting ourselves back on track, and we weren't mentally ready for this level of home. And even if we would have rushed, I know for sure the house wouldn't be as nice as it is now because I would have been in a rush and I would have not waited for the right builder and all of the right circumstances to line up. And I would have gotten myself in a situation where I probably would have had a house that I didn't necessarily love. It wouldn't have been my dream home. And I would be dealing with financial consequences. Right? We probably would have had a higher interest rate because our credit wasn't the best at the time. It would have just been a lot if I was in over desire, if I was in a rush to get there because I thought that this house was going to make me happy and that, I needed to prove something about myself and be in this house. But no, I did it from a place of healthy desire. Like, yes, I am interested. I know I deserve it. That's not in question. My worthiness is not in question. I'm worthy if I have the house or not, but I just truly want to be in a beautiful space. And I just truly want this for my family. And I'm willing to be patient. I'm willing to plan. I'm willing to prepare. And I'm willing to get there in a way that is going to be pleasurable all around. So it was pleasurable building the house on Pinterest, planning for it. Probably did that for over a year. It was very pleasurable building. The whole process was enjoyable. I loved it. So many people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, when I tell them that I absolutely loved building our house and the building process. I had an amazing builder. I waited to find the right person. I didn't just hire the first person we met. And it was just a great experience. And I believe it was a great experience because I wasn't in a rush and I just took my time. And it's pleasurable being here. It is affordable. Our mortgage is well below what it needs to be in order for it to be in balance with our finances. There's just so much joy around it. I love entertaining. I love just being in it. I love cooking in my kitchen. I love being in my closet, in my bathroom. I love everything about it. And That is what happens when you allow yourself to have a healthy desire. So here's what I really want you to take in. You don't have to buy something to enjoy it. You can get so much pleasure from the anticipation. Think about a vacation, right? You don't have to go on the vacation as soon as you think about it to get joy from it. Sometimes the anticipation of a vacation is better than the actual vacation. Okay, let's just be clear about that. You can get joy from just imagining whatever it is that you want. Let your body feel what it will be like to have it one day. If it's a purse, picture yourself carrying it. I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I have a Chanel bag that I want. So I can imagine what it's going to be like when it's time for me to get that. I can use the same process, going on Pinterest and picking out the purse and what it's going to look like with the different outfits I want to wear it with. I can do the same thing again if I wanted to. The goal is to just get the joy from having the thing. Let your body tingle with the thought of holding it, even if you're not buying it today. You don't need to make it an emergency. You don't need to go into debt or to deplete your savings or to sabotage your financial goals just because you desire to have something. You can let the experience of the desire be joyful now, and then you prep and plan for it. And some things are going to be right around the corner. If you want a new wardrobe, that's not going to take as long as it took me to get my house. You might just need to wait a couple months and prep and plan for this new curated wardrobe that you want. You don't have to rush and get it. And you don't have to wait forever either, especially if you make a plan for it using your prefrontal cortex. So when you plan for something and take your time, the whole experience becomes rich and joyful. The dreaming of it, the planning, the saving, the purchasing, the having, and even the remembering. That's what desiring from a healthy place looks like. So now let's talk about something that gets a lot of us stuck, especially us high earners. We confuse not buying something immediately with feeling deprived. And let me be clear. Just because you don't get what you want right now doesn't mean you're missing out. And I think I just made that really clear for you. But I really want this to land for you. Just because you're telling yourself not yet doesn't mean you're depriving yourself. Planning for something doesn't mean you're punishing yourself. It means you're letting your prefrontal cortex be in charge of your life. That is the higher part of your brain, right? So if you think of your brain, there are two main parts, and I talk about this a lot. I haven't really talked about it lately, so let me just briefly go over it. You have your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that is only available to human beings. It is actually the last part of your brain to fully develop. And your teenagers and your kids that are in their early 20s, their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, so it's hard for them to wait and to plan and to pause before they act impulsively. But you, as an adult, your prefrontal cortex is fully intact, but you have to deliberately use it. And if you don't use it deliberately, your primitive brain will run the show by default. Your primitive brain is the survival part of your brain. It's the part of your brain that is only concerned with your survival, and it runs off of something called the motivational triad. So this is how we survived all these years from cave times to now, by seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and conserving energy. So it wants you to do what feels good. It wants you to do nothing that feels like pain or deprivation. And it definitely doesn't want you to extend a lot of energy. It wants you to do the thing you're most comfortable with, the thing that you've always done, and the thing that you're familiar with. And so when you don't necessarily pounce on something the moment you desire it, that is you using your prefrontal cortex. You're being deliberate, you're being intentional, you're planning, you're prepping, you're waiting until the time is right, and you still get pleasure from the desire so that you don't have to deal with financial consequences on the back end. But when you constantly jump on every desire that you have, you feel like it's an emergency, you can't wait, you got to have it now, or I'm feeling deprived, that is your primitive brain running the show. And when it comes to our finances, we do not want that primitive brain running the show, because it will keep you stuck in debt. It will keep you stuck with little savings. It will keep you stuck in the cycle of overspending. And it will also keep you stuck in a place where you're not able to build wealth and invest. So If you find yourself dealing with a lot of over desire, then here's an exercise that can really help you shift out of that over desire by remembering how many of your past desires you already have. So this is how it works. You make a list of the things you once wanted, but you now have. So a home that you love, a partner that you prayed for, a wardrobe you created, a job that you're proud of, a career that you're proud of, a business that you built, a life full of experiences. You can still desire what you already have. Have you ever thought to do that? You can look in your closet and say, I want this bag and I already have it. I want this house. I want to live in this neighborhood and I already do. I want this car that I'm driving and it's mine. You can walk in your home and feel the thrill of the fact that I wanted this and I made it happen. That's how I feel. This is not settling. This is just living in true, pure satisfaction. This is how you can expand your gratitude and your joy without needing something new to feel good. Because if the only way you can feel good is with stuff, you'll never, ever be able to build true, lasting wealth. And again, this is exactly why I created the masterclass that I have that's upcoming. So if you're listening to this live, I am hosting a brand new masterclass called How to Get Out of Debt Without Giving Up Your Summer Vacation. And if any of what I said today resonates with you, you're invited to join me on Sunday, June 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on Monday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can sign up by going to the show notes, or you can go to jermainefoley.com/debt. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/debt to sign up. So here's what I'll say to wrap everything up. Remember, the goal is not to stop wanting things. Desire is not a problem. Desire is good. But how you hold your desire, how you act on it, that's where your financial peace is either created or destroyed. So want what you want. Let yourself enjoy the anticipation. Let your body feel what it is like to have it without needing to rush. And when the time is right, when your finances are right, when all the things are in line, you'll get to fully experience it without financial harm. This is how you become the wealthy you. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Wait, before you go, have you checked out my free class? It's all about the steps you need to take if you want to build wealth without going on a strict budget. To sign up, simply go to jermainefoley.com/wealth class. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/wealth class. See you in there.